So the problem with phones is they're not just phones. We use them for everything. So we use them for our diaries, our shopping, we use them for searching for things, for saving lists, for taking photographs. So they have so many tools. As you know, phones aren't just phones anymore. That's why we are so engaged with them all the time. That's why we have them at the end of our hands like 99% of the day. Mamas, welcome back to my channel. The problem with looking at your phone all the time, with children around or spending too much time on your phone is that children need that human interaction and we're distracted. That is the biggest problem. That one-on-one focused attention helps children to feel valued, to feel listened to feel understood, and helps us and them to feel connected to us. So it's really, really important that we aren't distracted, when we're with our children, that we are fully present. And as long as we have our phones around, that's really, really hard. Worst case scenario, your child feels ignored, feels disconnected from you. That is worst case scenario as a parent, but that is ultimately what can happen, if we let our phones, our screens and devices take our attention when we're with our children. Now, I'm not perfect at this, okay? I have an Instagram account, I post on there. I have this channel in which I need content and videos and stuff. So of course, I do have my phone out. I like to capture moments and memories like any parent does, but I think there's a balance. Although it's a work in progress for me to not use my phone so much, I have come up with some really great things and insights and tools which are helping me at being better at it. So that's why I wanted to do this video, to share those tools with you if it's something you struggle with and something that you really want to work on. So before I get into my tips, I just want to say, if you do struggle and you're looking at your phone too much, you're not the only one, okay? I didn't do this video to scare you or to get you worried about, your connection with your child and all that stuff. It's not about that. It's about helping us to be more connected, but also I'm real about these things. It's not easy. And I'll tell you why it's not easy, because phones are designed to grab our attention. Apps, Facebook, Instagram, their main goal is to keep people on the platforms. So they're experts at keeping us looking at our phones, so it's no wonder that we struggle to put our phones down. There are many parents, many people out there who have phone addictions. It's a big problem, but there are ways that you can help yourself to not be completely attached to your phone, to not be too connected to it, and to kind of have that distance, so that you can be more present with your child. So my first tip is to set a time limit. I don't know if you know this, but you can set a screen time limit within your phone. So if you want to say, hey, I'm only looking at my phone for 2, 3, 4 hours a day, no more than that, then you can set a limit in there. And your phone will tell you when you are close to that limit or you're reaching that limit, so that you know consciously how much time you actually spend on your phone. Because sometimes we think, oh, I've only looked at it a few times. And then if you do look back and have a look at how much you spent on Instagram and all the different apps, your phone will tell you that. Then it's often really surprising. You're like, oh gosh, I have been looking at it. And sometimes you'll just grab it, without realizing, and you'll start scrolling, and then half an hour passes. Obviously, it's not so easy to do that when you've got a child to look after and they have a lot of needs, but it still happens. So yes, you can set in your phone a limit for how long you want to spend on it. And you can use your phone, as a way to help you to be away from it for too long. My second tip is to get up early and do what you need to do on your phone before your child gets up. Now, I know this isn't always possible for every mum, because some children get up really early. I have a friend whose child gets up kind of 4:30, always before 5. So unless you want to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, which most people don't want to do, then it can be tricky. So it's not for everyone. But if you have got a child that sleeps really well and they sleep until kind of 6, 7 o'clock, then it is possible to schedule in a bit of time before they're awake, to answer emails, to reply to text messages, from the day before, to send messages to people that you needed to ask a question to, to have a look at what you're going to do for the day, timetables of places that you might want to visit, writing a list, whatever you might want to do before your child gets up that involves your phone. Then sometimes you can schedule in kind of 15 minutes, half an hour to do that before they're awake. And then when they're awake, you can have that focused attention with them, put your phone away, and you're less likely to want to have to look at your phone because you've already answered everything that needs answering. Number 3 is to put your phone out of sight. I know there's a saying, out of sight, out of mind. It is partly true because I find if my phone isn't there in front of me or with me, that I just don't think about it as much. It's kind of separating or putting that distance between me and my phone. If I can see it, sometimes it's just tempting to pick it up and have a look. It's like an addiction, isn't it? It's like a pattern of behavior, a habit that we get into. Breaking that pattern of behavior, putting it out of sight, is really, really powerful. And that works even with things like food. You know, we know if you've got the food in the house, the chocolate, the cakes, then you're gonna eat them. If the distance between you and that food is much bigger and you have to go to the shop, you have to get in your car and drive to the shop or walk to the shop to get it, then the likelihood is that you're not going to do it. It's the same with the phone. You know, if you leave your phone upstairs, if you put it in a drawer at a specific time, a time that you want to focus on with your child, like story time or dinner time or whatever, first thing in the morning, then you're kind of helping yourself not to become distracted by the phone kind of looking at you on the side. It's a really great way to help yourself. So number 4 is to practice focus. As I said, our phones are designed to take our attention. They're designed to keep our attention. All the apps want you to be on their app all the time, looking, scrolling, taking in adverts, taking in content and engaging with the platform. That is what they're designed to do. Practicing focus on different things can really, really help. Focus isn't something that you just have. I think it's more of a skill that you have to develop, that you have to practice and grow and be better at, you know, like concentration or like being present. It's all the same thing. So how do you practice focusing? One of the ways that I really love is the Pomodoro technique. If you've not heard of this, you can find a more detailed description of it. Probably there's a YouTube video on it, but if you Google it, you can find out what it's about. But I'll give you a little kind of rough insight into how I do the Pomodoro technique myself. I usually do the Pomodoro technique when I want to focus on something or when I'm working and I don't want to be distracted. If you're like me, your mind is everywhere. I have so many things that I want to do all at once, and obviously I can't do them all at once, but it doesn't stop them popping into my head and reminding me, oh, you've got this to do, or you want to do this, or there's a job that you need, blah, blah, blah. It's just constantly on the go. If I put my mind to something that I want to do, sometimes my mind will pull me away to do something else, and it will distract me and it will take me away from focusing on that one thing that I want to do. The Pomodoro technique helps you to just sit and do what you intended to do, not to procrastinate, not to be pulled away and not finish your task. It's a really good tool for just really, really focusing. So what I do is I have a little notepad and a pen, and if I want to spend a good kind of half an hour to 45 minutes playing with my child, focus one-on-one time and be present, then what I do is that anything that pops into my head during that time, I will write down on the notepad, and then it's out of my mind, it's on the pad, and I can carry on with what I'm doing. And sometimes you'll have 1 or 2 things, sometimes it will be a list of 10, 20 things you're constantly writing down, getting it out of your mind, you know, carrying on. But it does get easier over time. You find that if you do that you have less things popping into your mind. And it doesn't mean that those tasks that you've written down aren't going to get done. It just means that you have decided at that moment that you're going to focus on what you're doing. You're going to do those later. So you can pick up the notepad when you've finished doing whatever you want to do, half an hour with your child playing or reading, and you can get started on one of those. You can say, right, I'm going to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes doing one of these on here, get that done, you know, that's another job done, happy with that, you know, and move on. So number 5 is to schedule time to use your phone. So if you schedule time specifically in the day, then you're less likely to grab your phone and look at it intermittently through the day and get kind of carried away on that Instagram reel or whatever you're doing. If you schedule in time to do specific things involving your phone, like make a phone call to somebody that you need to speak to, book an appointment, you know, Google something that you've been meaning to find out, whatever you use your phone for, you can schedule it. So you could do maybe lunchtime after lunch. You spend half an hour doing those things on your phone, or you schedule it first thing in the morning or nighttime, or you know, whenever works for you and your routine and your schedule. It's a really great way, because if something pops into your head and you're like, okay, I need to do that. Okay, now's not the time. You know, I've scheduled in time to work on those things. I've got an hour, I'm going to do it then. For now, I'm going to be present. I'm going to focus on what I'm doing. I'm not going to be pulled away by technology. And yeah, it's a really great way to kind of limit your time on your phone. And you know, I am guilty of looking at my phone a lot. Some days are better than others. I find when I'm a bit more tired, I look at my phone a bit more. You know, I'm feeling a bit more lazy, less productive. You get into this kind of self-sabotaging behavior and you just start wasting time doing things which aren't important, like looking at your phone and googling things or whatever happens. But you know, I'm guilty of that too. So I have actively practiced some of these techniques and tools to help me be away from my phone, because phones can be very evil at keeping your attention and keeping you out of the real world, which is amazing and beautiful. So yeah, do try them. Let me know what you think, and hopefully they will help you too. If you feel that looking at your phone is a problem, then give them a try. And if you enjoy my video, as usual, share and subscribe and like and all those things, because I am actively trying to grow my channel. So I appreciate every single one of you that watches, and I always hope you enjoy it. So do let me know. If you're new to my channel, then welcome. And if you are existing to my channel, then hello again. And I will see you in the next video.